The European carbon market has been one of the year's best performing assets. And these markets are going global. China's launching its own facility. China has the world's largest emissions, and therefore this will also be the world's largest carbon market.
China launched its national carbon market this year after a decade in the making. The national ETS will cover about 40% of the country's total emissions, so it will be the world's largest carbon market. It included power sector at the start, covering more than 2,000 enterprises. The annual emissions of these enterprises will be 4.5 gigaton per year. More sector will be covered by the scheme, so the national ETS will cover about 70% of China's emissions by 2025.
Many of the features of China's carbon market will be the same as those in other regions.
Yes, the ETS is a core policy instrument for China to achieve its carbon peak and carbon neutrality pledge. The overall design of this ETS is similar to existing ones around the world, such as UK, EU, and California, etc. However, the Chinese carbon market is much larger in terms of the covered entities, 3 times of the EU market, and compared to the EU ETS that has been in operation 16 years ago, China's new national ETS will adopt the intensity-based targets, so there is no absolute cap. And trading also limited to spot trading at the beginning.
Initially, participants will be limited to corporate entities, though it's expected that greater depth will be added later.
Yes, trading in the national ETS is expected to start during this July or August. Shanghai Environmental Exchange will host this national allowance trading. At this stage, only compliance entities, meaning the emitters, can join the trading. Financial investors will be allowed at a later stage. There is also discussion on the carbon future trading, which is likely to take place on the newly established Guangdong Future Exchange.
The price of CO2 emissions in Europe has skyrocketed in recent months after a slow start. Prices on the Chinese market are expected to rise at a gradual pace.
Refinitiv Carbon Research Team has developed its own in-house model for China ETS. We provide supply, demand, and price forecast until 2030. We expect the allowance price to average 40 yuan per ton in 2021, so roughly €5, and gradually rising to €20 in 2030.
Investors can follow the development of this market and the evolution of carbon prices in China via Refinitiv's new China Carbon app.
Refinitiv has just launched the new China Carbon app on Icon. The application will give you access to news, data, live prices, insights, and analytics, including our supply, demand, and price forecast for the Chinese carbon market, as well as the access to our Carbon Research China team.
Carbon markets are only going to grow from here, but how they develop will be key. If prices rise too quickly, which some might say is a success, then companies could be discouraged from opening new facilities in that region if the regulatory charge is too high, and Europe's prices may be moving too quickly. The Chinese carbon market will have regulatory oversight as well. Initially, it will only be for companies emitting carbon. Speculators will be allowed to join once domestic carbon futures are launched. If prices rise gradually, it will give companies time to adjust. Given the size of the emissions in China, that will be an essential part of China's energy transition strategy.